So, another day, another podcast. Today, we're talking about love, control, and power. One fact about me is that I love control over everything and literally over everyone in my life. It makes me feel at peace with myself. Because controlling things gives me the feeling of security, it gives me the peace of mind, and I am pretty sure that I'm not the only one who is keen on it, right? People often choose power and control over love because power offers control, it offers security and even influence, whereas love demands and requires vulnerability. It requires compromise and even emotional risks in some cases. Here are some key reasons why power can be more appealing and why you also should choose power over love. The tendency for some people to prioritize power and control over love can be attributed to so many factors, like the combination of psychological, cultural, even societal factors. So, here are some key insights into why this may happen. Let me explain you the situation from zero, like this. If you have something or someone valuable to you, you want to protect it or you want to protect him at all cost, right? You want to control it. Let's take a diamond, for example. You own a diamond, okay? Would you want other people to be around your diamond without you being there? Or would you like if your diamond to be taken somewhere else without you being there for several days? Would you like it if you couldn't determine the whereabouts of your diamond? Would you like it? Or instead, would you keep your diamond somewhere that other people cannot get to it? Somewhere that you always know, let's say, where it is, and somewhere that you know it will be there once you come back to it, once you get back to it, somewhere safe. People take these behaviors that protect what they have and they literally try to use these techniques in their relationships. If you have someone you love, you want to protect him in the same way, right? So there is a problem. The problem is people cannot be treated in the same way that you treat your stuff. Keeping the track of your partner, I don't know, controlling them doesn't stop other people from getting them or taking them away from you. Vice versa, it will make them resent you. That's one reality that you should accept because people aren't things. Reason why, that to feel in power and in control, you should start doing it behind the scenes. You should start doing it deliberately and intentionally without them knowing or noticing. Because the moment a person feels or, I don't know, senses that he's being manipulated, that's the time or that's the situation, it's going to be very destructive on person's mind, on person's psychology, or even on the relationship itself. I mean, would you afford it? Would you afford to lose your relationship in the name of power and control over your partner? Ask yourself this question.
Overtaking silently.
We've come very interesting point of this whole conversation. When we look at the situation from a wider perspective, it is evolution. We basically have instincts like animals, not much different, not better, unfortunately. It is the advantage for the robustness of life that we come with different sets of abilities. Power and control over others are the particular sets of genes that are very efficient. They are attractive properties because they will improve your chances of getting, I don't know, a more attractive partner, a high quality food, for example, or a better protection. Basically, everything for the genes to survive, okay? And it is why males fight each other over the entire animal kingdom. It is why women prefer power over kindness. Humans, by their advanced language and shrewd brains, have developed the ability to use their ideas, their language, the ability to think, to gain and control power over others. Power comes hand in hand with silence. They are fraternal concepts. And the reason why I nearly identified them as the fraternal concept, as the same concepts, is due to the one extremely attractive term that I heard from my dad, which is called a silent overtake, which is called a spokojny obgom in Russian language. So then why silence? Because silence provides an opportunity for introspection, for reflection, for the enhanced decision making. And I want you all to go back to your childhood times. I want you all to retrospect a bit on the past. Whenever your lovely mom was treated unfairly but kept her silence. Do you remember that? You were trying to prove her right by being extremely noisy. Or at least you were telling to yourself that shouldn't be how she is reacting. Or that she should be much more expressive when it comes to her inner wrath in a heat of a moment. Do you remember it? Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, childhood is being noisy towards the unfairness that you are exposed to, and adulthood is learning to respond instead of reacting. Really? So, actually, there was a reason why your mom was doing it. Because in the moments of silence and in the moments of solitude, basically, our minds can sleep on a decision, allowing us to gain a deeper insights, a deeper understanding, process information, and find clarity. By distancing ourselves from the external factors like distractions and immersing in silence, we can actually access to our inner wisdom. So each person does have a set of values, right? Everybody knows it. And silence basically makes the room for you to make a well-informed choices and align your actions with your set of values. It's very important. Silence becomes a space for personal growth, for self-discovery, and basically for mindfulness. So yeah, silence is the key in controlling, and silence is the key in power.
Silence is a strong statement.
I don't know if anyone has ever told you about the power of silence. Yes, my friends, you heard me right. I'm not talking about the silent treatment, but I'm talking about the silence and how much power that it actually holds within. So, when you are silent, what you are doing is giving a response, not a reaction. So, in giving responses, you have had time to think about things. So, you've had time to process about what's going on and responding in a way that disarm others. So, while silence refers to the absence of words, absence of spoken words, it doesn't imply the absence of communication necessarily. So, in silence, a lot of words and communication is exchanged. That's the reality. Because what you are doing is putting a full stop, like nonverbal cues such as facial expressions, such as the body language and the tone of voice convey a wealth of information. So, by consciously using silence alongside nonverbal communications, we actually can effortlessly, effectively express our emotions and establish a healthy boundaries and convey messages. Those messages may be very difficult for us to articulate in the meantime verbally. Silence becomes a powerful tool for emotional expression. I mean, it allows others to interpret and understand our feelings on a profound level, right? So let me tell you about this one example that happened to me when I was on a date with a guy who used silence to overtake the whole scenario of the meeting back then when I was so young and wild. So before he gave me any kind of feedback, any kind of comments, he was staring at my face, like keeping his full silence. But in the meantime, I promise you that his eyes were literally talking, and I was taking these nonverbal cues so personal to the point that it literally caused so many misunderstandings between us. Because I was never shutting up my mouth. Moreover, I was babbling about whatever comes to my mind, unfortunately. But since I was highly intuitive, I just sensed his intentions of ruling me. Even though I was not very well experienced with that new concept that I newly encountered. So it was basically an unsuccessful date on my side, right? So from this, we draw the conclusion that silence can be very strategic. It can be a strategic maneuver in power dynamics, in negotiations. So by remaining silent during negotiations and confrontation, we exert control and create an aura of mystery. And this technique can unnerve others, leading them to reveal more information, more and more and more, and make consensus. And just like the previous case that happened to me, it can disarm you basically. Silence creates a sense of anticipation, placing the burden of filling the void on the other party. Moreover, remaining silent in the face of criticism or provocative statements, we can demonstrate composure, we can demonstrate our strengths, shifting the balance of power in our favor. So, what actions should you take as a person? More precisely, as a woman, regarding this whole topic, ladies. So, you as a woman should preserve your silence and power within that silence. If you do this one simple trick, I would say, I promise you that you will get anything that you want in this lifetime. Just try keeping your silence for a while, and then get back to this video, giving me your results in the comment sections below, please. So whenever a woman truly understands that they are in all possible means more precious than anything, living, breathing, non-living, non-breathing objects, subjects on this planet of earth, they understand that the fact that somebody reaching up to them and any initiations of talking to them is a privilege that they literally are given away. But actually, these privileges shouldn't be given away. They should be earned by someone who deserves your attention. Like, why do you make the effort of allocating your time to these people? Why is that? Ask yourself these sensible questions and then answer. I mean, find the logical answers. If you manage to find it, that's completely cool. That's completely okay. You can go on doing whatever you want. But if you do not find any logical answer, then maybe you should think a bit more.
Everything is tied to control.
I always advise young girls or young women around me to go for the men in power and in position, because I think that that's the literal, natural, and the most biological need for women. I think there's so much prejudice when it comes to this whole gold digging concept. Like, of course, you should be digging for a gold if there's any. I mean, the only people who are complaining about women being in their high empress energy and asking for a lot from men are literally the women, are the men who are broke, like brokey. Do you know any women who is not into power? Who does not desire a powerful man, a powerful partner, who does not worship the people in control or in charge? The answer is a big no. True or true? We as females are dying to see the people around us who are capable of doing so much. So much. But what is that in human nature that pushes us to our limits to experience that extreme power and control? What is that? Is it because that we like to permeate through other people's opinions and their thoughts and keep them obeying us literally and stop whatever thoughts of theirs that are out of our reach at bay? Why are women attracted to men in power, even if they are so cruel or evil? Because power trumps so many traits when women are looking for something in a man. Is that right? Because power normally means wealth, it means social standing, it means the ability to dominate those lower on the ladder than you are. Those are all appealing traits. Look at all the wealthy men who have even some kind of a power in a form of a social admiration or social standing, like movie stars, like rappers, etc. You rarely, if ever, see a powerful man walk down the aisle, walk down the red carpet with a land whale. Many women, and by many I mean the majority of the women, are influenced by the power and wealth. Enough that they literally overlook and often easily trump over other negative traits. Like negative traits, guys old, guys overweight, guys evil, guys insufferable, guys balding, etc. I mean, all those traits are often overlooked when dealing with a man in power. In our current world dynamic, power is absolute. That is what literally everyone is fighting for. You gotta accept it. I mean, especially I'm talking to men. The sooner you accept, the better your life will improve. I don't know, regarding your personal life, regarding your work life, social life, anything that you can imagine is literally tied to power and control.
Confidence equals to hot retaliations.
Let me tell you about the self-worth, the amount of the self-worth that I had on me. So talking to me, being in my presence is a privilege. And there are a limited amount of people having the privileges of talking to me, being in my presence, having my opinion, I don't know, my thought on in issues. So when some random person, man or woman, comes up to me, trying to talk to me, to make conversation, try to be in the eye of mine, so to say, I try not to be so rude. Nevertheless, I deliberately choose to be very direct and clear in my attitude. Like, brother, what made you think that you can talk to me? Genuinely, what were you thinking of? Were you on a drug or something? So the person who is outside of my circle only has the capacity of talking to my hand, like talk to my hand, because I prioritize silence and possible aspects in my life. Let me give you the example of silence that is literal definition of a power in my, because there is a favorite replic from one of the movies where the guy comes to the wedding of his ex-lover over whom he consistently claimed his authority since childhood and then left the girl because of some family pressure. Such a low man, right? What was the first lesson that you gonna extract from this whole scenario, ladies? Do not choose a scared rats. Go for the man position, because however the girl has the queen attitude. The girl confronts him during the conversation when he states that she has her nose up in the sky. So he goes like, such vanity, not even the moon is as white. The women become dead in the face, completely dull, completely expressionless, stood for a while, 10 seconds, and broke her silence. Like, the woman's answer was a sharpish shark attack, sharp bite in the ass. She went saying without blinking her eyes, but even the moon is scarred. Why should I not be vain? I have the beauty, I have the virtues, and from now on I do even have the status, because she was married to the guy from the aristocratic background, from a man of power, the man from the high society. That single moment, that single sentence deserves a whole minute of standing ovation, ladies. So I have always thought that a woman should have that level of confidence that leave the others questioning their place in her life. What good contribution did you give me to have the access to my life? Think about it. And then act accordingly. Men, basically, men will treat you how you basically let them treat you. You as a woman define the boundaries with every person yourself, so they can tread on you, or they can keep you inside their palms, protecting from every danger. You, as a woman, have the fullest right to decide on which path you're going to go down.